Look at this. Look at all the people. We've got our comfort station. We've got Mid-Ohio Valley Climate Action here.
All right, so Indivisible MOV, our next meeting is on Wednesday the 1st, and I believe, where are we at, Judge Black?
Judge Black,
We'll be at the Judge Black Annex down in Parkersburg. That is across from the Blenner Hassett Hotel, and that starts at 6:30. So if anybody would like to join us, we'd love to have you. What you need? Event, not the moment. All right, I'm gonna call Mr. Eric Engel.
All right, Eric.
I always got to take that thing off there. I want to hear you all get as loud as you possibly can. Thank you. I really appreciate that. One more time, as loud as you possibly can. Thank you so much. We're out here today because this is what resistance looks like. We have always, throughout human history, we've always had empire, right? We've always had someone who said the rules didn't apply to them, that the rule of law was only the rule of law when it was convenient for the powers of empire. We've always had that throughout human history, but we've also had something else throughout human history. We've had this. We've had people who have come and stood up for a rules-based order, come and stood up for the rule of law, come and said that we are all equal, that there is justice for all, that there is equity for all, that we'll accept nothing less. So I'm holding this sign in my hand right now. It says, "Climate voter, make America green again." You can get your own right over there at that green canopy that you see there. So let me hear from folks who are determined to be climate voters and take on the challenge of climate change in a meaningful way. Get loud. If you support union labor and organizing labor and employees having the right to fight for to have collective bargaining rights and the right to fight for their rights in the workforce, get loud. Exactly. See, this regime, it's not an administration, they're not administering anything. This regime is opposed to labor rights. This regime serves only the corporate structure, only the billionaires, only the powers that be. And this regime doesn't care about climate change at all. It's just drill, baby, drill. It's just fossil fuels as far as the eye can see. They disregard the fact that renewable energies, energy efficiency, conservation, it's all cheaper for us. They don't care, especially over in West Virginia. They don't care what our power bills are. They don't care what our water bills are. They don't care that the vast majority of the state of West Virginia has different areas where they can't drink water, especially the southern coal fields. They don't care. They showed this legislative session that that doesn't mean anything to them, that they're actually willing to contaminate water more and do next to nothing to deliver clean, safe water for everyone, let alone affordable water. They don't care about affordable energy. They don't care about health care. We're looking at right now, because of the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill Act last year, over the next 10 years, we're looking at over $1 trillion in cuts to Medicaid. $120 billion in cuts to the SNAP food stamps program. And with all the spending that they're still doing despite these cuts, we're looking at about $586 billion in cuts to Medicare that will be triggered in the next 10 years if Congress doesn't act. There's no talk of making Social Security solvent. Actually, it was just recently reported that the entire federal government is insolvent. That the federal government is insolvent. Let that sink in for a minute. Our liabilities so far outweigh our assets that cumulatively, if you count everything, including what we've promised to pay over the next 75 years, we're looking at about $146 trillion in the hole. That's a number I can't even conceive of. And these people want to try to make it up to the extent that they care. They want to try to make up for that on the backs of the working classes and the poor. They want to say to people who have earned their Social Security and Medicare, to people who are on Medicaid, to people who are on food stamps, to people who are on unemployment, they want to say to people who are some of the most vulnerable people in the country, those living with disabilities, the elderly, that we need to make it up on your backs. We can't afford you anymore. Well, those folks and the working class folks like all of you standing here are the only reason we can afford anything. We're the ones who put the work in. We're the ones who create the demand. We're the ones who create the money. Folks like Elon Musk do nothing. They slap their name on other people's work and take credit for it. The guy didn't invent anything. He piggybacked on the efforts of others and made himself wealthy. These billionaires, every billionaire, is a leech. Pure and simple. There is nothing that you can ever do that makes you, quote unquote, worth $1 billion. You're hoarding wealth. It's stolen wages. It's denied benefits. That's all that it is. They're not better. They're not these superhuman people that they try to pretend they are. And now they come along and they threaten states like West Virginia with this AI, with these build-outs of data centers. And I understand AI may have some uses that can be useful to society, but a lot of it is not. And these data centers are highly polluting, water-guzzling, and dangerous. And communities are saying that if they're going to be forced down our throat, they at least need to be well-regulated, but we prefer not to have them forced down our throat. But those communities aren't being listened to. And they're not even getting tax dollars out of the deal. Patrick Morrisey and the Republican supermajority in the state legislature decided last year and this year to deprive those local communities of the tax revenues that building those data centers will generate and that having those data centers will generate, all for maybe a few dozen jobs. It's absolutely ridiculous. And here in Ohio, you all have been doing an absolutely amazing job right here in Marietta trying to protect your water from injection wells, from fracking waste that is threatening to contaminate your water. You've gone to your city council, your local government, and you've said, hell no. We're not going to have you bringing this frack waste that you've already littered all over southeast Ohio and threatening Marietta's water systems with it. And they've listened and they've responded. And the state is still trying to fight you, and the corporations that are trying to dump this in your backyard are still trying to fight you. But the people of Marietta and the surrounding communities in southeast Ohio have stood up and said, we will protect our water. We will protect our most precious life-giving resource, and we're not going to back down. And for that, get loud.
Yeah!
I see the signs right back here. Protect our water. No more injection wells in Washington County. Stop the data center. That is democracy in action. That is the people speaking. We're also trying to speak in Parkersburg and being ignored by our local government. We have said unequivocally, the vast majority of us, that we do not want our sanitation services contracted out to private companies. Overwhelmingly, we have said this, and we have been ignored and given the middle finger by our government in Parkersburg. We have gone time and time again and said we want our sanitation division of our Public Works Department kept operating. We want our curbside recycling back, and we want that recycling process at our great local facility. And no matter how many times we say it, they've disregarded us. They've gone through an opaque process, no transparency, and awarded contracts out to these private companies that we didn't want. So to begin to fight back against that, a lot of us have come together in Parkersburg and started a sanitation petition. And that petition, if you're a resident in the city of Parkersburg registered to vote, you can sign it. If you haven't, we'll definitely get you hooked up with the ability to do that. But that petition would repeal an ordinance that awarded a sanitation contract to the company Waste Management. And that's just the beginning. We want to fight long-term in the courts and wherever else we need to get our sanitation department back, get those local jobs back, and do what the city council and mayor have so far refused to do, and pay those sanitation workers living wages. The wages they deserve for the dirty work that they do serving our community. That is a core function of local government to provide services like sanitation. It shouldn't be farmed out to the private sector because they just don't want to deal with it and pay people what they deserve. And we've been saying that for months, even years, and been ignored. But we're standing up, we're fighting back in every way we can, in every way we know how, to try to restore our local sanitation services. And I myself, as I've put on Facebook, am not going to give up until either we have sanitation back and those sanitation workers are organized in a union and the state laws have changed to allow for that, or I have done absolutely everything I can to make that happen, even if it doesn't. And I'm a long way from that. I'm not giving up, and neither are the rest of the people of Parkersburg who are opposed to this. So from the local level all the way up to the fascist pedophile in the White House and everywhere in between, we have to stand up as American citizens and say, we're done with this. We're not going to see our Constitution shredded. We're not going to see statutory laws routinely violated like they don't exist. We're not going to see the rule of law cast aside because this guy decides he wants to spend his last years, fingers crossed, on as a dictator, which is what he wants to do and what the Republican Party is allowing him to do. And we're not going to take that anymore. We're going to organize, we're going to mobilize, we're going to speak out with organizations like Indivisible, MOV, and we are going in November, whether ICE is standing at the polls or not, vote these bastards out. Because enough is enough. And we all know that. So I want to point out one more time, we're over here, Mid-Ohio Valley Climate Action is a climate and environmental nonprofit organization, been around for about 10 years. Please come over and see us, get some swag, talk to us, figure out ways to get involved. There's lots of things that we're doing right now. We have these incredible yard signs. On one side, Climate Voter, Make America Green Again, play off the MAGA, and Protect What's Ours, Be a Climate Voter on the other side. These look really great in the yard. They stand out with the other election yard signs this time of year. Please come get one. They don't cost you anything. We've got the stands with them. We'd love to have them in your yard wherever you live. Doesn't matter, West Virginia, Ohio, everywhere. We want to see you. Please come be part of Indivisible MOV if you're not already involved in that. Please check your voter registration. Please go, if you live in West Virginia, I don't know as much about Ohio, maybe someone else can speak to that, but you can go to the West Virginia Secretary of State Office's website and check your voter registration. You put in your first and last name and your birth date on this part of the website, and it shows you if you're an active voter and what precinct you're in and what party you're with. So please, check your voter registration. Be prepared when the time comes to vote in the primaries coming up soon in West Virginia, and especially in November, because we can't live with this anymore, folks. We can't take any more of this. The depravity that we are seeing every day is beyond the pale. But I will say this. I want to point this out. I think it's important to point this out. The U.S. Senate Democrats just stood the line, as we demanded they do, finally to say enough is enough, no more funding for ICE until they lose the masks, they show the ID, they follow due process of law, then we can talk about a little more funding for them like they don't have enough already. But they stood their ground. And even though Republicans aren't playing along and they're still depriving other Department of Homeland Security employees of their pay, the Democrats stood along and said, we can't tolerate this anymore. We're not going to look at the killings, the murders in Minneapolis, and the unlawful detentions, and the hell that children have been put through, and just stand here and throw more money at the problem. So for that, I commend them. Let's give them a little round of applause for doing the right thing. I hate that DHS employees are not getting paid. I've seen what that's like firsthand. I've seen federal employees here locally working without pay or being furloughed or losing their jobs. And across the country since Doge, the catastrophe that was Doge last year where they stole all of our private data, lots of federal employees have lost their jobs. And I feel for the TSA workers and I feel for the other Department of Homeland Security workers and what they're going through. But we absolutely cannot tolerate this Gestapo force in our streets. And we will not tolerate it. And if they want to come to the polls, I got news for them. I'll see them there.
Yeah.
Take your mask off. Show me who you really are. And I'm still going to stare you in the colors of your eyes and vote anyway. I'm going to walk right. You want to stand next to me when I vote? That's fine. You can bring your gun and stand next to me while I vote, but I'm still damn well going to do it. And so are all of you. We're going to do it together no matter how much they try to intimidate us, and no matter how much these guys act like thugs. So let's come together. Let's vote these bastards out. Let's stand up for who we are, for what this country can be, whether it ever has been or not. And let's come together and make the change that we need to see this year. Let's get loud one more time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Eric. Okay, so we had a little impromptu band show up today. Didn't know they were going to show up. So these are the River Rats. So we're going to give them a second to kind of warm up with just a smidge. And while they're doing that, I am going to tell you, call Congress. Right? Everybody needs to be calling their congressperson or congress critter or creep, as they all are at this point, to tell them that we don't want to be governed by a dictator. They need to grow a spine and stand up to this regime. We don't want it. So you can also get in touch with ResistBot. ResistBot will help you send letters to your Congress creeps. And you can write one, you can send others that have already been written by somebody else. Might help you get the words out a little bit easier. So, 5 calls as well. It's an app on that you can get on your phone that gives you a, what do you want to call it? A script. Thank you. My brain's frozen. Gives you a script to record to your congressperson. So those are great ways to be in touch with them and to be involved. Are you guys ready? All right, they're going to play a couple of songs for us. We're going to have one more speaker after that, and then we're going to do some marching.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Hey everybody, we are River Rats. The first song we're going to play for you is called Tired, because if I could speak for everyone, I'm pretty sure we're all kind of tired of what's going on with our government here. Tired of talking like this. Something is amiss. My heart beats so slow. Think it's time to go, and I'll be alright. I'll be alright. Would you let it go? Pretend like you don't know. Leave it on the line till the end of night. I think it's over. Why is it this way? I can't go another day. Sing some silly songs. I hope you'll sing along. I wrote them just for you, 'cause I got nothing to do. And I'll be alright. I'll be alright. Would you let it go? Pretend like you don't know. Leave it on the song was called Tired. The next song we got for you is called Don't Pass Me By. Just like the government's trying to pass us by, thinking we will just sit here and take it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, River Rats. Hey, we really appreciate the show up this morning. Awesome. All right, so I know you all are getting itchy and antsy and wanting to get on down to the bridge so you can all yell at everybody and you know, show your signs off. So, but we have one more person to end this afternoon with. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. We love you. Stay strong. Keep fighting. We'll get there. We promise. We'll get there. Okay, one more. This is Chet Pritchard. Hang on.
You know, 30 years ago, there was a little queer kid from upriver in Newport, Ohio, who left the Mid-Ohio Valley, thank you, who left the Mid-Ohio Valley because they didn't think it was safe. They didn't think that there were like-minded people here. And today, that queer kid stands before you and says, thank you.
Yes!
One of the many hats that I wear is as the minister at Belpre Congregational Church. So put those two things together, friends. A queer kid from Newport, Ohio, pastoring a church. So for those of us who lead churches, we have a really busy week ahead of us. Tomorrow is Palm Sunday and Holy Week begins, and Christians around the world are going to make great efforts to recreate the story of Jesus in his final days. But too often we forget that in those last days, Jesus arrived in Jerusalem not atop a horse with the instruments of war by his side, but atop a donkey with palm branches waving. He was angered by the injustices perpetrated by the religious elites in collusion with the Roman Empire. I want to thank Eric for introducing us to that concept of empire because it's so important. Jesus was so angered that he flipped tables in the temple. He gathered people in community. He shared food and washed feet and brought hope. And he was arrested, tortured, and executed by the empire. Now, no matter what you believe or doubt about Jesus, about the church, about religion, I think we probably share so many of those same emotions that we encounter during Holy Week. We are angry and we are fearful for ourselves, for our friends, for our family members, for our neighbors, and indeed our entire world. When policies and practices emphasize fear and hatred, we long for love and empathetic leadership at all levels. We seek community. We seek to feed and be fed, to care and to be cared for, to love and be loved. And when it feels like we are being handed over to the empire and injustice surrounds us, maybe your daily prayer is the same as mine. What in fresh hell awaits for us today? Every religious tradition has ways of making meaning in times like this. Quakers discern through silence, seeking illumination for powerful action. Judaism motivates through tikkun olam, repairing the world. The Unitarian Universalist second principle seeks justice, equity, and compassion. And many Christian baptismal vows ask some form of this question: will you resist? Will you resist evil, injustice, and oppression in whatever forms they present themselves? So no matter how you make meaning of this, your anger is valid. And there is community to share this anger. I want you all to look around at the folks gathered here today. There is community to help you seek justice and resist empire. And even when it seems most bleak, when it seems that death at the hands of the empire has the last word, we rise. We what? We rise. We what?
We rise.
We what?
We rise.
We what?
We rise.
So be it.
Thank you, Chet. All right, guys, I know you're itching to get out there and march. So, the time has come, finally. I know you're all kind of itching, so head on out and walk on down to the bridge and get some honks and waves and get more people on our side to do this fight. We need you all.
Yes. Yes.
Peacefully, yes. Stay out of the street. Try not to be rude to those who are rude to us. You know.
It's going to happen.
All right, folks. Thank you. We love you.
Yes. See everybody.
Can I say something real quick?
Hold on, guys.
Hey, sorry everyone. If you're looking for a yard sign from Mid-Ohio Valley Climate Action, I brought 30 today and we're already out. They've already been dispersed, but we can still get you yard signs. I have more at home. So I can deliver them to you. You can give me your contact information. I've started a fill-out sheet over here with contact information and get you one, or you can come get it. Or I'm going to bring yard signs to the next Mid-Ohio Valley Indivisible MOV meeting on Wednesday, April 1st, downtown Parkersburg. So either there or contact me. I have a sign-up sheet over here. Thank you.
And you can see people already walking up to the bridge. You can see them all the way up there.
We got the honor to play you guys out as you go out there and have some fun.
Awesome.
Hey, we found a black toboggan looking thing out by the sidewalk. If this is any of your guys', just come on up here.
Well, there's 140 just here in Ohio. But there's 3,000 across the country.
Stand there when I'm in my bed. I need my own place. I need my own bed. All that I love, they all ran away, and I won't feel the same again.
Yeah, the line's all the way down to the light already.
When I die, I doubt that my little brother will cry. Maybe I'll do it better next time. When I do it again.